G'day, Steve Morgan, Fishing Monthly Magazines, with Mark Golden here from Northside Marine. They are Queensland's only Stabicraft dealer, and we've tested some smaller Stabicrafts in the past, the 1450 popular test we've done, but Mark, this is the bigger brother to that boat.
Yeah.
Tell us about the 1550 Frontier.
Yeah, well, this is a very, very popular model now. So the 1450's been out for quite a number of years. And just unbelievable success for the company Stabicraft. So lots of sales, but a lot of requests for potentially just a slightly bigger model. So they brought out the 1550. This one now has a number of features that you don't really get in the 1450. Underfloor fuel tank, welded live bait tank, casting deck extension. The list goes on. You can put drum winch in there. It's just that next level of boat for the person who wants to have a little bit more features in just a really cool little boat.
Tell us, and let's reverse a little bit. Let's go to the theory of Stabicraft, that solid foam-filled life ring around the outside. What does it do? Yeah,
so obviously these boats are built in New Zealand, if you're not aware, but it can be a very rough conditions over there. They want to build a very solid boat, so very high level of construction, but also safety is a major aspect for rough water and also cold conditions and things that they get. So these boats are designed to be very stable, virtually unsinkable with that foam-filled life ring, and they also put foam under the floor in the buoyancy chambers now too. So they're just always adapting their boats to try and give people a better experience, more safe and stable experience, and what is actually not an overly very big boat. So some of our customers are now getting into a boat that's under 5 meters like this and still doing very large offshore trips, adventures, out to islands, things that you probably wouldn't normally do in a sub 5 meter boat.
I think the build quality gives you the confidence to take on adventures like that. And let's face it, if you're not doing on the edge things nowadays, you're not one of the gang, are you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have people, and the cost of fuel and towing boats and all that sort of thing becomes a hassle in bigger boats. So at some times people want to get into a smaller boat, but they still have that desire, to head out to the Great Barrier Reef, to do some trips that, normally, as I said, you wouldn't really do in a 5 meter boat. But being a Stabicraft, being as safe as it is, obviously being an open model like this, you might get a little bit wet, but I would have no problems in taking this well offshore and doing some pretty cool adventuring.
Well, let's have a chat about what it's on. It's on a GFab trailer, and you sell a range of trailers, but this is the top of the line, and it definitely looks the part under this rig.
Yeah, so GFab make fully custom trailers for each particular model of boat. So this one's obviously designed and developed for this particular model. We do sell a range of trailers, so we can try to suit the budget of the particular customer. But yeah, it just gives them a very premium option. Looks absolutely beautiful, gives the boat a very low center of gravity. As you'll see, it sits really well into those wheel arches and stuff on the trailer. So it's just one of the options that you can to set up with these boats, and being such a premium quality boat, we sort of match it sometimes with a really premium trailer.
I noticed there are only small wheels on this to keep the whole rig low, make it easy to launch.
Yeah, it's very, very easy, as you'll see. It's a full skid trailer, so basically designed for this hull. Drive on and drive off extremely easy, but a lot of guys like the fact that it just tows so nice. So not that it's very heavy, but yeah, easy to tow.
Tow with anything too, like anything will tow this.
Yeah, well, anything pretty much. So yeah, that's one of the benefits of a smaller boat. You don't have the running costs. We're running a Yamaha 70 horsepower on here, and you'll see out on the water today, Steve, that this pushes this boat very well, and we're going to be achieving, over 3 kilometres per litre. So the towing is obviously a little bit cheaper because you're not towing a big boat, and obviously the use of the boat itself is going to be a lot cheaper than running a much bigger boat, yet you've still got that capability with this particular model.
Well, I think anyone who's got the smaller cousin will like the fact this has got an underfloor fuel tank. And what's the capacity of that underfloor tank?
That's a 60 litre tank.
So 60 times, you get in, say, 3 kilometres per litre. There's nearly 200 kilometres of range. I reckon you could get yourself into some serious country with that. And as usual, of course, I don't believe anything Mark says. We're going to go out and do the numbers ourselves. We're going to come back to you with some of the performance statistics. All right, so that's what the Stabicraft Frontier 1550 looks like out on the water. And it's a typical day on Moreton Bay here in Australia, the sort of day that us Aussies go fishing in. We are not crazy like the New Zealanders that love going fishing in 20 to 30 knots. A few little whitecaps, that's pretty good for us. Taking the boat out on the water, it was full of fuel today of the 60 litre fuel tank. And like all Stabicrafts, you benefit from those big sponsons. It's a flat ride, it corners. It doesn't lean into corners, it corners quite flat, and it's this boat here rode exactly like all of the other Stabicrafts I've been in. It's good in the chop, it's a nice soft ride. Even when we're doing our speed tests at quite fast speeds, with as much of the boat trimmed out of the water as we could, still a comfortable ride. I can tell because when I'm writing my stats on here, if I can read them when I go back, it's a pretty stable riding boat. The Stabicrafts have always been evolving. Anything they add to the boat isn't for decoration, it's for function. So this boat here has that removable front casting deck, which I really like. It gives you a little bit more cockpit space if you don't need that stand-up space up the front. And when you take it out, leaves a couple of really nice rails in the boat. Now, with all the Stabicrafts that I've tested, Stabicrafts do not have a shortage of places to hang on. This one, look at the top of that console, look underneath the drop-in tank. Look here, there are lots of places to hang on in a Stabicraft boat, and we really love that. Really simple console there, but hey, look, you can flush mount a big sounder in it. I'm big on flush mounting. I'm thinking if you've got a console like that and you're putting a bracket mounted sounder on top, it occludes visibility and it just exposes all of your expensive electronics to the weather. So love the fact that you can get that flush mounted sounder in there. Very New Zealand style bait station at the back. The New Zealanders love to keep their batteries in the back of the boat and elevated, and it sort of lifts the centre of gravity a little bit, but a very workable bait station in there, and you have that port side plumbed live bait tank as well. Really love that in this smaller Stabicraft you get the footsteps. Like, you always struggle for somewhere to put your feet. When you say in a little bit of weather, you want somewhere to brace yourself in, a nice comfy seat, and that footrest there is actually a really good idea. And I love the fact that these steps here are solid. Like, we see all sorts of versions of the fold down transom boarding steps, and you need those both at the ramp and on the water. These ones aren't going anywhere. They're a solid build, and there's plenty of stuff to hang on to when you get onto the boat there. So let's have a look at the performance with that Yamaha F70. The F70 it's a proven Yamaha. The platform's really old now, and it's one of their highest selling engines. Interestingly, with two people up on the water, we couldn't match Mark's claim of getting 3.2 kilometres per litre. He could go out by himself and we could get 3.2, but with two up, we got 2.6 kilometres a litre, and that was at 35 kilometres an hour and 3,500 RPMs, which is right in the sweet spot for cruising around with a 60 litre fuel tank that gives you around that 150 kilometres of range, which is plenty for a boat like this to do some of those longer trips we were talking about earlier. At wide open throttle, 6,000 RPM, 1.8 kilometres a litre. It drops down the economy and you get 56 kilometres an hour. Again, that top speed, a little bit less two up than you would get one up. Mark could definitely get it to 60 kilometres an hour one up, driving like the salesman hoon that he is. We don't put prices anymore in the video. They'll be in the description below, and we have starting from prices and as tested prices. Of course, this one here with that awesome GFab trailer underneath is quite optioned up. Big electronics, big trailer, some of the options, and it's a great looking rig. Before I go, I want to talk to you about that GFab trailer as well. I think this boat is going to get just as many comments for the New Zealand owned Australian built GFab trailer as it is for the hull. Single axle on this, but they're a unique single bearing sort of seal design. It's got all of the stainless steel running gear on it. Have a look at this trailer here in the cutaway. It's a work of art, and it's going to take your pride and joy to wherever you need it to go in Australia. For more information, talk to Mark or talk to the guys at Northside Marine at northsidemarine.com.au, and they might be able to option up your perfect Stabicraft.